Hi, everybody. I am definitely a citizen activist. As my husband would say, I cannot walk by an anthill without kicking it. I have fun. Sometimes the ants don't. But what really thrills me about tonight is seeing all the doctors here. It does my heart just so good. You are the most important. You are the heart of healthcare. Without you, there is no healthcare. And to have you all here tonight, and I've been to a number of events, but I've never been to one before where all you doctors are here, and I will tell you, it motivates me, and it energizes me, and it makes me feel that, oh boy, they're finally getting pissed off. You're finally going to get out of your rooms with the little beds and everything. And maybe, just maybe, you'll take control of your own futures. Because if you do not take control of your future, we have none in healthcare. It will be non-existent. Our children will not go to the colleges. You are hitting that 50-year-old midlife crisis thing. I'm already past it, so you're on your own. You're going to quit. And you're going to walk away. And you're going to walk away with the best years of your practice still ahead of you, when you've acquired all the knowledge, when you've practiced enough that you've made all of your mistakes, and you know how to collaborate versus being confrontational. And we need you. We need you in the hospitals to train the interns. We need you to deal with people like my mother, who is 88 years old, and she sees the doctor walk in and she goes, oh my God, are they out of high school yet? You get over 60 and all these new doctors, it makes you very nervous. Now, if you're a stable person, you can cope with that. But when you suffer with something like clinical depression and you're on 1 milligram of Ativan 4 times a day, being made nervous, also with congestive heart failure, can be life-threatening, literally. They walk in and they're scared. Well, the old folk are scared. A lot of you doctors are scared. I'm scared. We're facing probably the biggest social meltdown in the history of mankind. And it's not because of the federal government. And it's not because of Obama. We've got the baby boomers. 10,000 a day are retiring. Da-da, 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 da-da. It's a tsunami, and it's coming. And what's going to happen? When the baby boomers retire, do they buy new houses? No. There goes the housing market. Right down the tubes. What do they do with their investments? Well, I ain't going to encourage risk. Are you kidding? I'm sucking it out and putting it where it's safe. Whoops. There goes the investment market down the tubes. Oops. What about paying taxes? Are they going to pay more or less? There goes the tax revenue down the tubes. What about utilization of services? Mother Nature caused this. World War II caused this. Because war has this tendency to stimulate the libido, and we procreated significantly. Now we've got an aging baby boomer generation that's going to swamp the housing market, the investment market, and it's going to bury healthcare. And if we don't find different ways to deal with this, that tsunami's going to drown us. So that's the problem, none of which that I even plan to say. But that's the problem. I came up here to tell you about Thidwick, the big-hearted moose. Is anybody familiar with Thidwick? All right, I knew there'd be one in the audience. Dr. Seuss. Thidwick is the story of America. You see it, don't you? Dr. Seuss. Thidwick is a moose. And he's happily going along in migration with the rest of the herd. A little bird flies by, says, "Can I ride on your antlers?" And Thidwick says, "Sure, not a problem." Little bird lands up there, flies off, lands back, picks a few bugs. Thidwick's happy. Then the squirrel came by. He said, "Yo, Thidwick, can I ride on your antlers too?" Well, I won't go through the whole story because obviously it's teaching the children not only the moral of the story, but the ecosystem of the tundra, which I don't think you need at this particular point in time. Eventually, the bear, along with every other creature in the forest, is riding on Thidwick's antlers. Well, Thidwick now can't even get his nose off the ground. He's just can't move. That's what's happened to America. We're big-hearted, and everybody is riding on our antlers. They're not using their own 2 feet to walk when they've got perfectly good feet. That's what the entitlement mentality is all about. Why should I do it myself if I can get some other sucker to pay the bill? That's where we are. And you can blame this politician and that politician and everything else, but it's no politician's fault. It's no one party's fault. Mother Nature got us to the point where this crisis is going to hit and we can't get away from it anymore because 10,000 baby boomers a day retiring is not something that you can hide. All right? Let me ask you a question. How many of you, when your pipe breaks in your kitchen, call a plumber? How many of you go to Homies? We got 1 or 2 left out there. There's only 2 ways to get things done. And I don't care if it's your health care, plumbing, auto mechanics, or anything else. You either buy the service from somebody else and get somebody else to do it for you, or you've got to do it yourself. Now, when our healthcare system as we know it today crumbles and collapses, and is there anybody here who thinks that will not happen? It's unanimous. Where's our fallback? I retired from IT. I specialized in security. All these other guys that spoke out here, paperless is the biggest joke in the IT community that ever existed. Anytime a customer walks in and says a paperless system, we go, okay, fine. And we go in the back room and laugh our asses off. Oh. I'm so sorry. Because it's impossible. Paper's a backup. It's a backup vehicle. Your systems will crash. Security is layers of deterrence. It's not protection. No more than the locks on your door are protection from home invaders. Does anybody think if a home invader wants to get in your house, that lock is going to do any good whatsoever? No, it's not going to happen. So where are we now? We've got to do it ourselves. We have to put in a fallback because this is going to fail. Even if Obamacare is repealed and the Supreme Court gets rid of the whole thing, our system is still going to fail because there's too much in the antlers. And we won't be able to shed it all in time to prevent the crash. Okay, so we need our fallback. Well, what's a fallback when people can't deal with things? Charity. True charity. Not the government. The government's going to fail. The government's not a fallback. The government's the problem. There's what's causing the problem. We need to reestablish true charity. Now, a lot of gray hair in this room. A lot of people are going to remember when we had these things called communities. When people helped each other and they worked together. And the Amish, do things like barn raising. And we still do that down in South Jersey, by the way, if anybody wants to come down. We build things together, and we get up on the roofs together. and we do our own work together. The true charity solution of Dr. X Zarafat plan is a twofold solution. One, it's going to address the Medicaid folk who right now get a plastic card and no care. And the second is it's going to put in place that backup fallback plan that we have to have when this other system comes down. And to add another aspect to it, it's going to bring back the heart of the community, because the Zarafat plan is a partnership between the church and the doctors. And what is the heart of the community? Is it the government office? It's our churches, and it's our social groups. And what heals a person? Taking a pill? Or if they're devastated, isn't it having the support of the community around them, so that psychologically they've got somebody to hold their hand or to advise them, maybe you shouldn't drink so much, Fred. All right? Community care and community-centric solutions are the types and the methodology that we need to use to prevent us from being in that situation of too big to fail. If we have community-centric solutions in places like the Zarafat Clinic, with the churches and the doctors working together, if the government goes blub blub, you're safe in your community, aren't you? You've got to think of your community as a country, or think of it as a ship. And think of you all on that ship together, not in the country as a whole, because it's just too big to get your arms around. Focus on your community. Recognize you can make a difference. And without you, no difference shall be made. None. So, though going to DC is a very important thing, I'm not saying it's not, you can have more of an impact by spending your time going to your local pastor and saying, let's get something going, shall we? And you're going to be able to find 10, 15, 20, or 100 people in your community that when you speak to them say, that's not a bad idea. And when you implement it, you know what you're going to find you have? A community again. And that community is going to be providing true charity health care through the doctors whose Hippocratic oath requires that they help everybody they can. And at the same time, with the legislative aspects, and I'm sure Dr. Eck is going to go into, you'll have some relief from the litigation aspects of your care that now burden you so much you want to just run off because it's too much for you to do. I cannot stress enough how important you are. Every single person in this room is priceless because you're here. You're not home sitting in front of your television set. You're here. You care. You're going to leave and you're going to go talk to other people. Talk. That's what Jesus did. Right? Did Jesus put a government in place? No. Did he get in the free market? No. Did he design any systems? No. He walked around and he talked to people. That's all he did. And that's all you have to do. Use your voice. Use your heart. Make a difference. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing. Anna Little for Congress. She's running against Frank Pallone in the 6th District. Pallone is one of the architects of Obamacare. Please pick up an envelope and a flyer on the table out the door. We cannot elect these people unless we help them financially. Thank you.